Alright, so here's some more gold related news. I keep telling you people, well, not you people, but the sheeple who don't happen to subscribe to me and listen to me, who they really need to hear this. But I keep telling you, they don't have this gold that they claim they have at these banks. And here's a proof positive story. This is from King World News. Today, Egon von Greyers told King World News that a client went to move a significant amount of, quote, allocated gold from a Swiss bank. But the bank shocked the customer because they did not have the gold. Keyword, allocated gold, which means you have gold on deposit with us. Here's your warehouse receipt or receipt. Here's the number of gold bars or ounces or whatever of gold you have in our vault. We've signed it. Here you go. Come back at any time, turn that little piece of paper back in, and we'll give you the gold. Right? That's how that works. But he was shocked because the bank did not have the gold when he went to go get it. Egon is founder and managing partner at Matterhorn Asset Management out of Switzerland. Von Greyers also said, the risk of having gold in the banking system is major. Interesting. Asset management company, managing partner, says, quote, the risk of having gold not in your possession, but at a bank instead, it's major. It is a major issue. Why would he say that? I thought we were supposed to keep it there. Matter of fact, I just had a comment from someone private messaged me, actually, saying that his grandfather, Earth, I think, just went out and bought 100 silver eagles and is going to go put them in a safety deposit box at a bank. And he's asking me for advice of what can I tell him to stop him from doing this. And it's hard to really convince someone other than history shows us that when we do things like that, it can potentially bite us. If the government ever comes out and says, we're confiscating gold and silver again, and again, I don't think there's going to be that this time. I don't think they'll do it because not enough people own it. But that doesn't mean they can't. That means there's a tiny risk that it could happen. So if there's any risk, I don't want any part of it. I wouldn't dare keep my money there. And the government will go in and say, all banks, you got gold, it's now ours. Whoever that's on deposit with, give them this money in exchange. That's what could happen. Or they could potentially say we're going to start charging a new tax or something on gold and silver transactions, probably well after the price goes crazy. And any banks that have it in their possession are required by such and such law to let us know, etc. And last but not least, you go to get your money, gold, out of the safety deposit box or silver, whatever, and for some reason it's not there. Wouldn't that be interesting? If it is not in your possession, it's not yours. Plain and simple. But first, here is what Greyers had to say about the bank runs in Europe. I keep calling him Greyers. It's actually Greyers with a Z at the end. This is just amazing, Eric. You couldn't write a better story than this. We have bank runs in Greece and Spain, and now a French bank, one of the biggest mortgage banks, is also having problems. Ireland, they thought they were all right, but they need more money. So the dominoes are continuing to fall, and this is still only the beginning. We are not far in Europe from fear and much bigger bank runs than we're seeing today. And the countries they think are okay are not okay. You take Germany. Either way, Germany will have problems. We had the G8 meeting, and Miss Merkel was in a bad mood because everyone is putting pressure on her to come up with more money to save Europe and Greece. Of course, politically, it's totally unacceptable to her. She can't do it. She's already losing votes in state elections in Germany. But of course, Greece is holding a gun to Germany's head because Greece is saying, we want more money, but no austerity. I am convinced they are going to blackmail Germany and the ECB because the politicians, for them to save Greece at any cost, they believe this is cheaper than to have to ring fence the rest of Europe. That's a very short-term consideration, but they are only living for the short term because, like most governments, they know they will be thrown out at the next election anyways. So Greece is now holding a gun to the head of Germany, and Germany with the rest of the Eurozone countries and the US. I think we're not too far away from seeing a major support package here. That's the easy way out for them. In other words, again, quantitative easing 3 for the US and something else for the EU. It'll be the last final thing. It'll be the biggest one they've done so far before the whole thing comes down. That's my opinion. The fact that all the money they will lend to Greece is all wasted money and will just increase the final loss, that's not anything they have to worry about because they won't be in power then. They'll already be voted out. That's what he's saying. This is not going to solve anything. We still have the UK and the Swiss banking systems, which are too big for the countries. They will come under pressure also in the next few months. That's absolutely certain. In other words, in his mind, it's a mathematical probability that says it's going to happen. Mathematical certainty, actually. He also told King World News that a major Swiss bank did not have a substantial amount of allocated gold, which they claimed to possess for their client. Quote, "We are stressing to investors to take their gold out of the banking system, not only because there are runs on banks that will continue, but the risk of being in the banking system is major. So you should take the additional step of not just owning physical gold, but also owning it outside of the banking system." And again, you don't own anything if it's not in your possession. Oh yeah, I own 200 ounces of silver eagles I've got in the bank. Well, how about 1 o'clock in the morning? You need it right now. Could you go? You gonna demand that the bank opens up and gives you your stuff? Nope. You gotta wait till they open. Oh, and it's Saturday? Sorry. Saturday they're closed, Sunday they're closed, and you gotta wait till Monday. Oh, Monday's a holiday too, sorry about that. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, you can come back and get your safety deposit box items out. That would be the worst case, the easiest, best case scenario. Worst case scenario, as I said earlier, you don't get it at all and something happened to it. And we don't know what happened, but it ain't yours no more, right? If it's not in your possession, it's not yours. Plain and simple. We just had an example of a client moving a substantial amount of gold from a Swiss bank to our vaults, and we found out that the bank didn't have the gold. This was supposed to be allocated gold, but the bank didn't have it. We didn't understand why there was a delay in our vaults receiving the gold. In other words, the delay wasn't from them, the delay was from the bank giving them the gold. What took so long is what he's saying. But eventually we found out why there was a delay, and it was because the bank did not have the gold. It's absolutely amazing, but not surprising, he says. And at the end it says, this confirms what I've always thought. Not only should you not have gold in the banks or even unallocated gold, but even allocated gold, right? Unallocated gold, they might be able to pull this off. We don't have it right now, but we can get it, etc. But allocated gold, hey, you have to have that. It's guaranteed, it's in writing. You said it's there. I paid for this fee for you to store it. I've got this, receipt that says it's mine, and I go to get it, and you're telling me we don't have it. That's like taking your dog to a groomer. You drop him off over at PetSmart, and then you go to pick the dog back up. Here's my receipt. I paid. Here's the fee. Okay, where's my dog? Listen, he's not here. We lent your dog out to another customer who needed a dog temporarily. What? This is mad. Well, you lent my dog out, right? That sounds absurd, but that's what they do with this gold. We lent it out because we were able to lend it, and as banks love to lend, lending means interest rates attached to it. We get an interest rate fee back. So as long as we lend it out, you haven't been here in forever. We never thought you were coming back for the gold in any kind of timely manner, so we thought we'd make a couple bucks lending your gold out. Now we need it back. And guess what? The person they lent it out to, or banking facility, or whatever financial institution that they lent it out to at interest, they also lent it out at interest to somebody else because somebody else needed it. And when you find out where all this gold and silver is going, it's guaranteed to be on the COMEX putting out these fires, and there's not even that many people demanding delivery. Like, we're not in this absurd amount of deliveries going on. But it's still enough to cause problems, and they're moving money, gold and silver money, around to try to put out these fires. And then someone who's again, it's always the guy at the bottom. It's always the peasant. I used your banking system. I did what society says is right. I played by the rules, and my freaking gold's gone. You idiot is what I have to say to you who do that. This is an extremely important interview because it reveals that allocated gold, which is supposedly held by key banks, is simply not in the vaults as claimed. And this right here is what they will do to your warehouse receipt when you say, you have my gold in there, I want it now. They'll rip this up, ball it up, and throw it away if you're lucky. If you're super lucky, you'll actually get your gold or silver back via a delay that was unexpected, which is going to put more pressure on the system. This is ultimately a bank run taking place right now, except it's not people going to the bank pulling out paper money. They're actually going to security facilities and or banking facilities like this one that also secures your gold and silver for you, and finding out we don't have it. And if you probably ask them, if you don't have it and you're supposed to have it, it's guaranteed you had it, I'm just curious, where did it go? Now the bank's not going to tell them, oh, well, we lent it out. We lent it at interest to somebody else. Meanwhile, we charged you, you stupid sucker, to store it with us for our little security fee. You had to pay us to store it here in our safe vault. But we took it out of the vault because it's our vault, and your gold was in our vault, and we decided to take your gold out of our vault and make some money on it while it was just sitting around. It's insured, by the way, but this is what we did. But I don't want insurance paper money if there was a claim to be filed. I want my real gold back. Well, sorry about that. They're not going to probably admit that. They're going to tell you, well, we store it here until we get too full, and then we take it to another secure location. That's why there was a delay. We had the gold, but it wasn't in this branch. It got too full because other people stored gold here too, so we had to remove all that gold and put it in another secure location that's actually more secure than our own bank. Yeah, but your paperwork and the stuff I signed didn't say you would do that. It just says you would store it here safely. Yeah, but under subsection C, we see that we reserve the right to store it at any of our locations, and our locations also equates to other companies and facilities that watch our gold, which is actually your gold. They'll tell you anything but the truth, for one thing. So this is clearly a gold and silver run just creeping out, just starting to creep out. It hasn't really taken effect yet, but there will be. And when you hear more delays and more delays and more people not getting their gold and silver, it'll start to slowly turn into more than a trickle effect. It'll start to turn into a stampede. That's around the time. I can't wait to see what happens on the COMEX, deliveries, etc. Well, June and July, I think July might be the next best silver date for deliveries goes, and I think June next month is for gold, unless those are swapped. It's one or the other. I think it's what I just said. So anyways, we've got a guy who has allocated gold. It's guaranteed, just like your money in your bank is allocated money. It's your money, it's allocated. You got an account, here's your statement. You can go in at any time and pull that cash out. And guess what's happened over the last few years, myself included? I need to take, you know, what some people wouldn't even call a large purchase, but, you know, $8,000 or $9,000 out. Sir, we don't have that at this particular branch. You don't have $8,000 or $9,000 in cash at this bank branch. Yeah, sir, we can order for you, and then 3 days from now, on Tuesday, if you come back, we can make sure we request that the additional for you, so you can get your $8,000 or $9,000 out. Or if you want to go to 2 other branches, I might be able to give you 2,000 or 3,000 here. Another branch might be able to get you 2 or 3, and then the other branch can give you 2 or 3. Would you like to do that? No, I don't feel like driving all over freaking Tampa right now. I'll just come back on Tuesday. That was, by the way, 3 years ago that I personally did that, and had to wait for my allocated money out of the bank. Hence why I said the other day, I keep 1 month's worth of money roughly in the bank at all times. Anything else I keep stashed away in my little secret spots and into gold, or not gold, but silver. I'm a silver advocate. Even though gold will do well, silver will do a lot more well than gold will ultimately. That's why I tell you to get silver. So anyways, that's all I got for you. Take care.